Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we are doing the full review on the Banter XL. I'm very excited about this full review, and I do want to thank Ben, the designer of this knife. So I gotta shout out Ben Peterson for sending me some awesome stuff. He sent me a blacked out Ben Banter's XL with blue thumb studs. It looks so good. With a love note, a giant Snicker bar that we're definitely going to be cutting this up with the Banter and enjoying that, probably with a little ice cream on the side, and some Big League Chew. As you can see, it's already been ripped open because me and Kara had a bubblegum blowing challenge, and she actually did wind up winning that one. But anyways, I know what you guys are thinking. And I'm not going to let love notes and giant candy bars affect the criticisms I have for this knife. Absolutely not. It's going to take more than that, Ben. It's going to take more than that. So let's get into it. So first off, I do have to say that this knife is completely my style. The shape, the way the blade is. I love this blade shape. It's one of my favorite blade shapes. It's basically a spear point blade. However, the tip does fall just short of the center of the blade, which is my preferred. Like that's the way I love my blade shapes. I'd like my tips to be a little bit lower than the center of the pivot. It helps with utility cuts. Now, because of the way this knife is so straightforward, it is super ergonomic and just super useful. It works in every grip, and when I seen it, I already knew, like, I'm gonna like this. I knew I already liked the Banter, the baby Banter. This is, just gonna take it over the top. Now, the size of it is a large knife. It is an XL knife. Now, I did hear people complaining that the cutting edge isn't very much longer, or isn't much longer than the Banter. But it is actually longer. Like, some people were saying that it was the same size. It is longer. The cutting edge is longer, but it's not a lot longer. So they only added a little bit of cutting edge to it, but they added this big finger choil, which is a beautiful thing. And the handle is a lot larger. So you're getting a lot more ergos, or a lot better ergos. Now, this is still a very comfortable knife. I love this knife. This knife is extremely comfortable, and I love it for a lot of the same reasons I love this knife. But this one just takes it over the top for me. And just so you see the size differences between the Banter and the baby Banter, there you go. Now, getting into this guy, we have 20 CV blade steel, micarta scales, steel liner lock, deep carry steel pocket clip that is inset with flat screws, and it is reversible. T8 hardware all the way around. I do believe the thumb studs are titanium, but I don't think the hardware is. I'm not 100%, but when I checked it with a magnet, yeah, I think they're steel. But I do think the thumb studs are titanium. 20 CV steel. We'll go more into that when we do the sharpening and testing and stuff. But let's talk about the action. It is super smooth. Both versions. This one is not broken in yet, and you can still see it is very, very smooth. I really like the way this one looks too, with the all black with the blue thumb stud. Dang it, that looks good. But the reverse flick, amazing action. You can easily get to the thumb stud. It doesn't have a lot of gripping on the thumb stud, but it does have a little bit around the edge, which grabs your finger just fine. The thumb stud, also good access to it, easy to get right to it and apply pressure, and pow, bang it right out. It is very, very fidgety, very fun to flick, and since it's only a thumb stud method, no other method, it's great that it is so good, easy to slow roll. The detent is not too strong, but it is good. What you don't want too strong of thumb studs, or too strong of a detent with thumb stud action. So, action, amazing. Access to the lock bar. They did give you good access. So they knocked this back a little bit, protruded the liner a little bit, added a little texturing onto the liner, which makes it to where you can come from the side. And because of the nice big finger choil, you can let it drop all the way down to your finger. Detent is nice and early, but it doesn't matter. You're gonna let it drop, and it is a very comfortable way to disengage. Let it drop. Yeah, very smooth. Now, ergonomically, extremely comfortable. I can't express that enough. Every grip this is comfortable in, no matter what. I don't care if I go in a reverse gas station knife fighting grip, it is great. So lots of good balance. I can spin it and swing it very comfortably and naturally, and it's so, you know where the blade is. You can really feel the handle and blade combination, like the way it balances, the way it just complements each other. And I speak about that a lot, about the way a blade complements a handle. This is a great example of greatness when it comes to blade to handle complementing each other. Now, next thing, the cutting performance. How does it pass through materials? So, because of what we just talked about, the blade and handle complementing each other very well, it passes through materials like a beast. You have such good ergos, and it's so comfortable that it's almost like using a fixed blade, but a folder. So going through materials, you're very comfortable doing it. You can apply a lot of pressure. There's no fatigue, anything like that. And the blade geometry is good. The factory edge was 14.5 thousandths. After sharpening and laying it back to 17 degrees per side, we're at 16 thousandths behind the edge thickness. So behind the edge thickness is 16 thousandths after sharpening. And that's awesome. That's good geometry. The taper from the spine thickness down to the edge is really good, nice and gradual. It's not rapid, and it has really good cutting geometry. The swedge on the top of the spine offers, gets some toughness down to the tip, but also leaving it nice and acute. The utility cuts are fantastic. It's good at utility cutting. It's good at rope cutting. It's good at push cuts. It's good at all cutting performances, in my opinion. I absolutely love the way this thing cuts. How does the clip work? So the clip works fantastic. Love the clip in and out of the pocket. Works great. Nothing's in the way, so you're not going to hang up at all. And yeah, it's a good clip. In the hand, the clip is comfortable as well, just because the handle is so big. If I hold back here all the way down at the end, yeah, I can feel the clip back there, but I don't hold it there. I hold it here or here. In both spots, it's comfortable in the hand, so the clip works great. In and out of the pocket, super smooth, and in the hand, it still works good. Let's talk about sharpening. So with sharpening, I did wind up reprofiling and sharpening my edge because I wanted to feel how the steel felt on the stone, and I wanted a nice new fresh edge on it, especially after testing. I can't wait to sharpen this one right here because it's going to take a beautiful edge on there, especially with the black and the blue. But on the stones, I sharpened it with VENEV resin bonded diamond stones. And on the stones, the steel felt good. It deburred very well. It felt like Wii's 20CV, which, I've never really had an issue with their 20CV. But I do want to talk about that. I wish they would up their HRC a little bit because it doesn't perform up to par with how it could if it was at a higher HRC. Now, sharpening, it sharpened up really good. It deburred really good. No issues with that. No issues at all. It sharpened up really, a super keen edge. It came out ridiculously sharp. And, going through the process of the stones, the steel felt good. It felt fine. It didn't feel super hard on the stone, but it felt good. Deburring it was just fine. I got to my finishing polishing stones. I could still feel the edge stability holding up good. I could feel the keenness of the edge still going. It wasn't losing bite or anything like that. I was very happy with it. Then when I finished it off, I hit it on I finished off on 3/2 micron. I finished on 3/2 micron VENEV stone, and then I went to the 1/4 micron GUNNY juice on a leather strop, stropped it up, and boy, did it come out ridiculously sharp. Paper towel cutting, hair whittling, extremely, extremely sharp. So very happy with the way it sharpened up. However, what I'm talking about with the HRC is where the edge retention comes in. Now, for the price, I still think this is a great buy. No matter what, I think this is a great buy. I don't think it's a bad purchase. Like I said, the heat treat is good, but the HRC 420 CV is on the softer side. So what we're going to find from this is it's going to have similar edge retention or a little bit better. I'm probably about 15%, it's about 10 to 15% maybe better than S30V, maybe even a little bit less between S30V edge retention and maybe 10% better, because the HRC isn't at an optimal range, which would be between like 60, maybe about 63. That's where we would really like to see it, 63 HRC. But where we're seeing it here with coated, we're talking 59 to 60, and then the non-coated is 60 to 61. I think that's what they have it listed as. So that is going to, because that little bit, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but that little bit is where M390 brings out that maximum edge retention, or the high performance-ness of the steel. So do I think it's bad? No, I still think it's good, and I would absolutely buy it again and again, because I do like it that much. But for WE knives period, taking these off the list, because I think these are very reasonably priced, but taking them off the list, we has some other knives that are in the, the upper range of price tag, and I think they need to bump that HRC up if they want to continue using those prices. I think people will be happier to spend it if they know they're getting all they can out of their steel. So, all in all, let's talk about some negative things. Well, one, T6s on the clip. I just prefer T8s. Why not just do T8s all the way around, even on the clip? I know on the opposite side they have a T8 there, but T8s all the way around. That way it takes just one bit, one set of hardware. You don't have to swap bits or anything like that. So, that's one thing. Small nitpick, yes, but I'd still like to see it. Next thing, I already spoke about it, the HRC on the 20CV. I want to see that bumped up. I don't understand why it's a little softer with the coated. I don't know if it's the way the coating sticks. I have no idea. Next thing, I would have liked to have seen titanium hardware. I do believe, I'm not 100%, but I think the WE Banter had, maybe it didn't have titanium hardware, but anyways, I would like to see titanium hardware. I would have loved to have seen this to be a titanium clip rather than steel. The price is $147, just under $150. I think the price is great, but I still think they could have fit those things in with that price. We're talking a steel liner lock. It's not titanium. I would have loved to have seen titanium, but it's not, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But, I would have liked to have seen, some titanium hardware and a clip. But as far as bad things go, the sharpening tool is really good. I love the way they did the plunge grind in the sharpening tool. They just put a notch and separated the plunge grind from the edge. Really good job there. I love everything about this knife, and I really have nothing to complain about functionality or usefulness or anything like that. So nothing. I have nothing. I love it. The only things that that I can complain about is things I'd like to see like upgraded or something. Like I said, the titanium hardware or something like that. I'd love to see a hollow grind. Right, a hollow grind would have been amazing on this. Can you imagine this thing with a hollow grind? That would have been so awesome. But it's not. So, but it's good though. The geometry is still amazing, and in this case, you're going to bring out a little bit more toughness with the geometry it has, while still being very, very slicey. Love the way they did the jimping on the finger choil. This jimping right here could have been moved up. It doesn't really do anything back here. Maybe a little bit, but I would like to see it there and over here. That way, when I'm like that, it'll work. But so the liners are inset, with lots of milling on the inside, lots of heavy milling on the inside of the liners, so the weight is very light for the size. This is a fantastic weight for the size. Slow roll lockup, rock solid, very good engagement, even with a slow roll, no play, any direction, rock solid lockup. The stop pin, you can see it back there. It is the same stop pin in the open and the closed position. Not mad at that since they didn't put it behind the edge. I'm very happy with that. And yeah, the fit, the finish, and everything it's really good. It's flat scales, but it has a nice chamfered edge around the side, so it is very, very comfortable. You can see a little bit of the wear and tear the blade finish did take. I did clean it up the best I could, but you can see a little bit. But that's, you know, that's normal, that's natural. I did put this thing through hell. I was using it for a few weeks, so I've had this thing for a little bit, and I have definitely put it through a lot of testing and a lot of cutting. So I'm actually surprised it looks as good as it does. So I think the finish has held up great. Now the coated one is, you know, probably going to be a little bit more scratchy after, especially as much cutting as I use this one for. But, you know, their stone washed coating holds up very well also. So very good coatings, very good finish. I love the finish. I'm happy with it. I'm glad it's not bead blasted. All in all, I absolutely love this knife, and I think Ben knocked it out of the park with the design. I'm glad he finally did this, because I don't think he was ever gonna do this, you know, without all the pressure from the community. So shout out to the community for pressuring him to make this amazing knife that I am very happy to have in the collection. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.